Hi everyone, welcome to the weekly review of my M1 Finance dividend portfolio. Balance on the account is $307,535.68. Let's go ahead and look at the performance for the week. Before I go into the numbers, I just want to clarify that one, I am on a journey to FIRE, which stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. I'm currently 41 years old, single, live in New York City. I have one child who is disabled. So as I'm on my FIRE journey, I am looking at a collection of my investment accounts in terms of like how I'm going to fund my early retirement. So this is not my only investment account. If you want to see my full list of accounts, check out my net worth video. You can check out the September one. It lists all of them and the balances at that time. So I do have like a 401k, I have a Roth IRA, I have a health savings account, etc. So it's the accumulation of all of those accounts together plus my cash is what I'm anticipating in the next 4 years or less that will fund my early retirement. So just wanted to clarify that I'm not just basing my early retirement goal off of this one portfolio, but of course the goal is to build this portfolio up to as high of a balance as possible. Right now I'm targeting $500,000, but if I can get it way higher than that, of course I will in the next 4 years or less, but I'm not going to work longer to have a higher balance, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's jump into it. So for this past week, the portfolio was up $4,651.12, or 1.54%. I have three holdings. The first is a VU, which tracks the S&P 500. That was up 1.71%, or $3,881.28. Next holding is SCHD, which is the Schwab US Dividend ETF. That was up 0.94%, or $669.55. And then QQQM, which tracks the NASDAQ 100, was up 2.45%, or $100.29. Let's go ahead and look at the activity for the past week. So on October 13th, I put in $100. I got one buy. It all went to VU, and I got 0.16 shares. And then on October 14th, I put in $1,600. It all went to VU, and I got 2.65 shares. So for the past week, I put in $1,700. And you can just see here, last week, the portfolio ended at $301,184.56. And I truly thought it was going to go below $300,000. But thank goodness it didn't. You see my cash flow here is $1,700, and then the market gain of $4,651.12 is what brings the balance up to $307,535.68. If we look at the funding to date, 2025, I have put in hard cash of $73,100 into this portfolio. To get that number, you do have to minus the $5,285 from the $78,385. So quite a chunk of change so far. And if we look at the overall holdings, the portfolio's up $46,139.10, or 17.65%. It's definitely down several thousands of dollars from its all-time high, because I do remember specifically the unrealized gain being $50,000. So, and then the stock market had a mini crash last week, so it's going in the right direction in terms of gains, but definitely not back to where it was before or even higher. And then my three holdings here, you see 21.01% for VU, or $40,205.09. SCHD is up 7.79%, or $5,187.94. So, I mean, SCHD is barely hanging on. The reason why I get so annoyed with it is just my cost basis here is $66,000. So that's $66,000 in cash I've put into SCHD, and I've only made a measly $5,000 on it. Like, it's really embarrassing. And only reason why I haven't sold SCHD is because of my early retirement goal. if I was planning to work another 10, 15 years, I would have completely offloaded this investment. But given my shorter timeline, the dividends from it will be helpful because across all three of these holdings, I am per year getting a little over $5,000. So that will be able to cover 1 month of expense. So I truly only need to pull from my portfolio to cover 11 months of expenses in the year. So, and that's as of today's date, right? So I still have a couple more years to invest. I'm hoping by the time I do retire early, the dividends will be able to cover maybe even 2 months of expenses, but I have no idea. So just based off what it can do today, which is 1 month of expense. And if we look at the last holding, that's QQQM, it's up $21.62% or $746.07. Throughout the year, I was saying I was going to sell QQQM, but it's done better than I thought. Not where I think it should be. I mean, this is all tech, so to me, this should be like 40+% return and higher. But, it's doing okay. So not going to sell it for this year. I don't know what I'll do with it next year. I'll decide at the end of 2026. So I'm not going to break my brain on it for now. All right, I think that is everything. We've covered it all. So I'm just going to continue plugging away. I did mention in last week's video that I am no longer super aggressively investing for the remainder of the year into this portfolio because my goal was to get to 300,000, and I did. And if the stock market pulls back and this portfolio goes below 300,000, I'm still not going to do anything super aggressively to get it back up to 300 because I did deplete my life fund, formerly known as my emergency fund, to help get the portfolio to this balance. So I am working on replenishing that account, and that is my focus for the rest of the year. So yes, no more very, very large deposits into this portfolio. But we'll be right back to, when I say we, me, I'll be right back to aggressively investing starting in January of 2026. And, my goal for early retirement is pending on one, the stock market performance, and two, me being able to keep my current job with my current pay, and also no black swan events happening that would completely wreck my finances. So I'm just trying the best I can, planning, saving, investing, but there's a lot that's out of my control. So I try not to get too tied to these goals. Again, I want to retire in 4 years or less. If something happens and I need to work another 10 years, that would really suck. But it is what it is. I'll do it because ultimately I'm going to make sure that I am putting myself and my daughter in a solid financial position. All right, that's all the updates for this week, and I'll catch you next week. Bye.